I haven't been completely honest with you. This lesson contains a very important new rule. That new rule is related to when you multiply or divide by a negative number in inequalities. I didn't tell you the truth because I didn't trust you. I didn't tell you the truth because I didn't want to overwhelm you. So, let me restate that rule and let me write it down so you can soak it in. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality symbol flips. Negative number, the inequality sign flips. And in this video, we're going to go all into that. Sign flips. And I'll probably restate this verbally many times. Now, what do I mean when I say flip? I mean, if you start with this and you do division or multiplication by a negative, your inequality sign becomes this. Okay? Let me erase that. So let me try to give you an example with a number line. Let's do that. Let's put a number line down here. Make it a kind of small one. Let's go 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then let's go in the negative direction. -1, -2, and -3. And let's write, let's see, let's put up here -2 is less than 1. Okay. -2 is less than 1. So that's graphing this. Let's put it in pink. So that's graphing -2 and 1. This portion here. Okay? We've graphed that there. -2 is less than 1. Well, what if we multiplied both sides by -1? Let's do that. This becomes 2. It becomes 2 is greater than -1. 2 is greater than -1. That's the logic there. Then we graph it SO. 2 is greater than -1. So if I didn't flip it, what would my expression be? My expression, and let's put this in red. If I did not flip it when I did this, it would say, oh no. My expression would be two. Now this is wrong. Don't lose sight of that. This is wrong. It would become 2 is less than -1. If I didn't flip the sign, this expression here would become this, which is not true. That's why we have to flip the sign. Okay? Let's work through a few examples now. So example 1. It's very important that you remember when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the equality sign. Only with multiplication and division by a negative sign. So here we have a 1 step. So let's divide by -2 and divide by -2. Okay, we get x is less than -3. X is less than -3. All right, let's go to another example. Example 2. We have -3x plus 4 is less than or equal to 10. Okay, we go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides. It's important you don't take the flip step too early either. Don't let it get mixed up. Until we get to multiplication and division by a negative number, all steps are the same. Now we're going to divide by -3, divide by -3, and that's when we must utilize our new, very important rule of flipping the equality sign. And we get x is greater than or equal to -2. All right, let's do one more example. Example 3. Let's say we had, let's try, let's do 2 divided by -3 x is greater than 4. Okay? Now, how do we clear this equation? Well, we multiply both sides by -3, -3. These sides cancel out, and we get 2x is less than, we have to flip the inequality sign, -12. Now we divide both sides by 2, divide both sides by 2. Now we haven't, this is division by a positive number, so it doesn't change. X is still less than -6. Okay. Let's scroll down, and I'm going to set up a few practice problems so you can ingrain this new concept. Okay, here's a set of practice problems for you to work on. And remember to flip the sign. Practice slowly, get the hang of this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and work through the examples quickly just so you can watch me solve it. This is x is less than -4. We divide it by a negative, so we flipped. We're going to go down to the next one. We're going to divide both sides by -1, and we're going to get x is greater than -5. Pop over to top right over here. We're going to subtract 1, and we're going to get -3x is less than 6. We're going to divide by -3, divide by -3, and we'll get x is greater than, we're flipping the sign, -2. And for the final one, we will subtract 4 from both sides, and we get 2x is greater than or equal to 6. Let me go back a couple of steps. We get -2x is greater than or equal to 6. We divide both sides by -2, and we will get x is less than or equal to -3. Thank you for joining me for this lesson. See you in the next one.